Lucy. I've woken up the beast. Hello, little one. Are you going to go torment your father now? Okay. Oh, that looks like we're live on there, so that's all good. That's all good news. How is everyone today? I know this we're a little bit later again today. That's because Aunt's been on nights and then we've had lots to do this morning. Just general work and housework, really. Nothing exciting, but it has to be done, doesn't it? So let's have a look. It looks like we're live. Excellent. So so how are you all keeping? How is everyone today on this fine Tuesday? The sun is shining outside for the moment, which is very exciting because we haven't had any of that for such a long time. But also that is casting some light into my craft room. So I've only got minimal lights on today in the hope that this is enough for us. Oh, let me just turn my noise down. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to be enough light for us today, because we had been having issues in the past with it being too bright or it not being bright enough, and that causing us all kinds of issues. I'll just slurp my tea. So, and my hair is not, I'm not happy with my hair today. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is we're going to do some craftiness today. And I'm going to do quite a quick and simple card today, she says, because we have still got quite a lot of things going on here today. So I'm hoping that this is going to be, we're going to be able to make a clean and simple quick card today. But you know what I'm like, never quite works out that way, does it? But we're going to give it a go. So hi Josh, how are you? Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a great day. I am going to start with a bit of ink blending to begin with, and I've got a couple of ideas that I'd like to do today. I'm going to start with some ink blending. I think the main focus of my card today is going to be a bit of stenciling, and I'm actually going to stencil on some watercolor paper today, which I don't generally do, but I thought I'd try it today. So I'm going to do that with the large rose stencil, which I think is really beautiful, and I think that these are going to be really lovely for Mother's Day. So still thinking about spring, still thinking about Mother's Day, that being the season, and I think that that's going to look really, really pretty. And I had kind of thought about a colour scheme, but I'm going to change it up a bit. I've decided to go for something a little bit different, and I'm going to use let me think, I'm going to use some blues and yellows today. Very topical colours, I think we'd probably say, but also I think they're going to make really pretty neutrals, and they're also going to give us that nice crossover of they're going to blend well together to give us a bit of green in between our roses. So I'm just going to line up my bit of pre-cut cardstock. Now this stencil does have quite a deep border around it, but I am going to cut down my panel anyway, so I'm not worried that it's not going to go all the way. And I think what I am going to do, just to make my life a little bit easier, is I'm going to tape this down on the back. I'm going to get some fresh tape and just tape this down. Hello Katrin, how are you? So I know obviously the midday sessions are sometimes a bit hard for people because they're working, you've got things to do. So if you're watching this on the replay, hello, I hope you're really well. I hope you've had a fabulous day, whatever you've been doing, and I hope that you're getting some crafty time now. So I'm just going to upend this, and then I'm going to do Now then, am I going to do, how am I going to do? How am I going to do it? What am I going to do? Am I going to go in an ombre effect up and down, or am I going to do splodges? I think I might do, splodges. I'm going to start with some yellow, and then we'll figure it out as we go along. So you're going to get a different effect on your watercolor cardstock. This is Time for Tea watercolor cardstock, and it's really lovely texture to it, and that's what I like about it, is that we're going to get a bit of texture here, which I think is going to be really, really cool. So I've started off with the scattered straw with one of my roses, and then I'm going to go in with some blue, and this has had some quite dark blue on here, so I'm going to just make sure that I have just cleaned that off a little bit. Katrin says you're just popping on while you've got some quiet time at work. That's cool. I'm glad you could join us. I think that's the thing, is some people pop in while they've got a little bit of time in their working day, which is really cool. So I'm going to add a bit of blue here to this guy, and then what will happen is, as these two colours cross over, we're going to get a bit of a nice blend here, and we're going to turn this a little bit green, and I'm going to do the same in this corner, because I can add a bit more yellow to that and make that even more of a green combination. That's very cute. I like that. And then I think I will probably do some blue down here, and maybe through the middle here, so that we can get a little bit of bit of contrast. Couldn't say that word. So if I go back to my scattered straw, which is my paler yellow, and add that over the top of this area here, that's just giving us almost a green kind of a shade. And then I'm just going to bring some of the darker yellow a little bit further out there. That's nice. I like that. So just clean off my brush a little bit. Hello Angie, how are you? We're really well here, thank you. We are doing okay for the moment. I think we're both super tired. Like I say, Ant's been on nights, which is always tough. I don't mind, you know, obviously I've spent many years living on my own, and have been very used to that, but I do feel the absence of Clyde now when Ant's away on nights, so that has been pretty tough. So I'm just going to add a little bit more depth of yellow to some spots, just so that we're getting that little bit more yellow coming through. So I think that's going to look really pretty. It looks really pretty on screen. And I'm going to go in now with some of this Salty Ocean just into the center of these blue flowers, because I think that they are going to, oh, I've got a bit of schmutz there on my brush there. That's going to just bring that out a little bit more, which I think is really pretty. So you know that I'm not normally a florals girl. Florals isn't typically my thing, as you know, but sometimes there is obviously a very good need for it. So one of the things that I want to try and do, and I don't know if there's enough ink on here, but we will soon find out, is to see if I can do a little bit of a twofer. But that's my reveal, and I think that that looks absolutely gorgeous. We've got a bit of ink on our surface here, and I'm just going to grab, I'm going to do some ink splattering on that piece, but I'm also going to do a bit of spritzing onto the top of that there. And I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if there was enough ink on there for me to do this, but I always say I'm going to do it and then I never do. So I'm just going to make sure that I have got enough water on there. And then I'm going to lay my cardstock just over the top there. I'm going to press that into my stencil and let's see what happens. Who knows? And I'm going to use this tool here actually, which is going to be quite good for getting a little bit of even pressure. And if nothing else, it's going to create a nice inky kind of splodgy background, isn't it? So let's lift this up and see what's... Oh, that's quite pretty. That is quite pretty. There is not a huge impression on there, but I think that that's going to look really quite lovely when it's dried. And it's very subtle, isn't it? That's really pretty. I like that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's really, really, really sweet, isn't it? I like that. Okay, I'm going to let that dry on one side. I mean, we could also even, there's probably even more on there that we could get on the back, but I haven't got enough, it's not dry enough for me to put the pressure on. I've got another piece of cardstock. Let's just try a regular piece of cardstock here. Let's try a square piece. Let's see, this is not watercolour, so let's see if we can get any more of that ink. Nice and delicate, says Laura. Angie says she likes it. It's something that I always mean to do but never ever remember. So there you go. That's not created as much of an impression. So I think we've probably used all of the ink that we could off there. So let's give this a clean. I think that's going to look really nice when it's dried. It's got very much of a what's the Scottish artist? It's very Macintosh. Is that it? Macintosh? Is that? Am I right in saying that? It's a bit of that kind of style. Let's clean this. Pop that transfer. So this is going to be the backdrop for our card today. And I'm considering whether I add a little character to it or whether I just stick with a sentiment. I've not quite decided yet on that. And I think I may have got some characters already cut out, but for speed. But we can. I was also thinking maybe one of the little cafe critters, small and cute. So they could be good to use. 1 second, I'll just blow my nose. Okay, so this is our original background. I'm just going to try and prise off our tape without ripping anything. So that's really, really pretty. I don't know which way up I prefer it. I kind of like it that way up. And then I'm going to add a little bit. Renee Mackintosh, that's it, Angie. I knew that was something like that. And then I'm just going to add some larger splatters to this. Oh, my splattering technique is not working so well today. There we go. So I'm just going to let that sit for a little bit onto the watercolor cardstock. I do have a bit of tissue here. So let's see how much of this splatter has been effective. Oh, that looks so pretty. That's really pretty. That's so nice. I do love a bit of splatter. And this is our other piece, which is almost dry already now, which does look very, very pretty. Different look entirely, but so pretty. So I'm going to move both of these over, and I'm going to, and what I might do is add, oh yeah, before I put this away, I might add some coloured splatter to this, because that might be a nice little alternative, because there isn't as much colour on here. So let's just, I don't want to overpower it with the splatter, so we're not going to go for anything too bold, but I think if we do a little bit of the tumbled glass, and it'd be good if we could get some quite large splatters here. Oh, my water doesn't look very clean. All over everything, but not on my piece. That's it. This is what we need. Some nice big bold splatters. Lovely. So there are some quite nice big splatters on there. I might go for some of the yellow as well while we're doing it. Let's try some of this scattered straw. And again, I just want some really lovely big splatters. I don't want to like get rid of my pattern at all. But, oh yeah, that's the business. Okay, so I've literally splattered everything around me, but never mind. But yeah, that's going to create a really nice, interesting background now. I'm going to let that dry. Clean off that acrylic block, which is super handy. I'll just have a little wipe around of some of the area that we've splattered on. Do love a bit of ink splattering, but yeah, do make a mess. It goes all over my screen. I have my my iPad in front of me here so that I can see what you guys are seeing and make sure that things are working. And actually, I probably should double check that we are still live on YouTube. So it looks like we are still, we're still going. So that's good to know. Yeah, it did. It just dropped off randomly after 10 minutes, I think. So odd, I know. And I seem to have frozen on Facebook now. Oh, we're back. We're back in the room. Sometimes it's so hard to know what, you know, whether you're talking to yourself. Oh, we have a bonjour. Hello there. Bonjour to you. I wish I knew French. I really don't. And I had this idea that we were going to learn a bit of Spanish this year, but unfortunately situations got the better of us and we just haven't been up to it at all. So we are still no further forward in that area. Right, I'm just turning behind me now just to grab some of my nesting dies, and I need to also grab some cardstock, and I'm going to grab a couple of different colours of cardstock here, just to see which ones that I'm going to use. I think I'm going to stick with the white, even though we've got, you know, with the watercolor cardstock is quite cream, but I'm going to stick with the white, I think, just because I think it'll look a bit cleaner. So the card that I've got is actually an A2 size, so I'm going to use the A2 layering dies, and let's have a look which one are we going to go for. I think it's going to be this one, which is the 4th one in, because that's going to give us this line. Let me try the 3rd one just to see if that is going to be, that could work. Then we're not going to lose too much of our design, so let's go for this one. We can always cut it down again if we decide it's not quite right for us, but I think this looks quite good. So let's pop a bit of tape on the top and the bottom there. I'll pop my stencil to one side, and then let's pop this through our Gemini. I have to move that out of the way because I need access to my machine. Now this is where it gets a little bit noisy. Rosie doesn't mind the noise of the Gemini. She doesn't like the noise of the heat tool. That she doesn't like. I don't think she minds this one too much. Carefully take off that bit of tape. Our other one is still drying, so I'm going to leave that for a little bit, just because, like I said, I don't want to put the heat tool on just yet, because I know it upsets Rosie a little bit, and she's having a nice little nap here because she's had such a hard day so far. Angie says that we're learning Greek, and oh my word, it's hard. I did French and German at school and attempted Arabic about 10 years ago. I'll definitely stick with Greek though. It would be easier living with it every day. Yeah, that's it. I think because you live there, you're also going to be surrounded by it, aren't you? Which is a godsend, because you're then going to get an opportunity to hear other people speaking it, and you'll soon start picking things up. I feel that, you know, we're terrible for just not practicing and not making time. So this sentiment that I was going to use for this was that I got it from my mama, because again, I'm thinking of Mother's Day coming up. Obviously this is perfect for Mum's birthdays as well. It's a really cool little sentiment, I think, to be able to kind of big up yourself and your mom at the same time. So I do love that. Hello Emma, how are you? So yes, so I was thinking that I was going to probably pop this on possibly a bit of vellum in the background, and then either we can do some ink blended or even a foil. So yeah, so I could either do an ink blended piece of card, or I do have some bits of foil. I don't have a lot of kind of foiled cardstock, but I do have a little bit that we can use, and we can see what that looks like. I think why the devil not. So we shall stick that through the die cutting machine, and then this I'm going to want to use a little bit of vellum, and I'm sure I've got an offcut of vellum here. Yes. So I think we'll use this offcut of vellum that I have here. And pop that onto here, and then we can pop both of these through the Gemini. And then this, like I said, this is then quite a quick and simple card, just as it is. But I had toyed with the idea of potentially popping a little critter on here as well. So we shall see if we fancy doing that. So popping this through on the very warped plates, which I keep saying I'm going to put through my dishwasher. But then forget to do. So thinking that that has cut. I'm just a bit concerned about this one in the middle here. Doesn't look like it has. And that is just because of my warped plates. So just to be certain, I am going to pop this through again. And let's try that one more time. Before I move everything, and then it's impossible. They look like two little gold eyes. So let's just move that out of Zive. That should definitely have worked now. Yes. So this is a bit of, I don't know if this is actual cardstock or foiling. I think this is actual cardstock because I do have some foiled pieces in there. So this is. So I've got the tittle on the eye. I'm going to poke that out, don't lose that. And then I'm going to poke out the rest of it. Now it's mostly comes out all in one go, but there are some bits that you do need to form. So we've got the Y. Come on. So it's got little holes around the sentiment. You can see there's little holes in various places. That will just help you poke out the bits that are stuck in there. So that just pokes out. And then we've got our background piece as well here. And so then this is going to just help you really fathom out how it all fits together. So got it from my mama. So the F goes just there. And then our little tittle is there, so don't lose that bit. So I definitely think that the gold on the vellum looks really nice. Let's just double check that this is what we like on the front of our card. Oh yes. I think that's going to look really, really awesome. Emma says, I'm okay in the office today, so watching on your lunch break. What a great thing to be able to do on your lunch. Watch a bit of crafting. So let's stick these bits together. I'm going to use some of my liquid glue and I'm going to grab my reverse action tweezers. I'm going to start with the got because I think once that's in position, the rest kind of falls into place. So I'm just going to add some of the glue on the back of here. Couldn't quite see what was going on. And just pop that in place. Oh, I've stuck that to my M. And if you're having a little bit of trouble, it just needing a bit of helping hand to stay stuck down, then just pop your acrylic block on the top. And then I'm going to add the mama on the bottom because that is again is a good placeholder for everything else. Pop all that on there. And just line up that Y and line up the rest. And the liquid glue just gives you that little bit of time to just move things around a little bit. And then we can just move that into place. Let's do the F and R next. So have you guys made your Mother's Day cards? I know not everybody's mums are around and it can be a difficult time of year for people, most definitely. And it seems like that's all everybody's talking about, isn't it? So I know we spoke about as well last week about whether we do Easter cards, because you could make this an Easter type of card. Or a card for a friend, because we've got lots of sentiments that are about friends. We've also got a nice big birthday wishes sentiment, which works in a similar way to this, so that would also work really well. So for some reason these are not wanting to stick to my vellum. Let's try the, it's an M. The other way of doing this would be to add your cardstock to a sticky backed sheet or a self-adhesive sheet, and then you can cut it out with your die cutting machine, and then it will be like a sticker. So then you can adhere it to your surface like a sticker. That is much easier, and I kind of wish I'd done that, because this does not want to stick onto this vellum. It will eventually, it's going to need a little bit of time. So what we'll do is we'll get all our pieces stuck down, and then I'm going to just pop a heavier acrylic block on it just to help it all adhere. Come here. My little tittle's causing me a bit of grief here. I'm using my quick sticks tool, my fingernail, just to pop this into place. Sorry if my head and my roots are in view. And then we'll do the final here. Come on, glue. So that just fits perfectly in the center, and then like I said, I'm going to get a nice big heavy block on there. That's going to make sure that in fact, for extra, sorry my arm's there, let's just move this out of the way so that we can work on other bits. But I've got 3 nice big heavy blocks. There we go. That's going nowhere. So right, so while that's working, let's have a look at our other piece. So this is still a little bit wet. What's Rosie going to think if I just give it a little bit of a blast with the heat gun? Sorry baby, I know you don't like it, do you? She really doesn't. She really doesn't mind the Hoover. I've been in here earlier with the Hoover, hoovering all around, and moving her about. She didn't flinch at all. Not a single worry about the Hoover. But she hates my hairdryer, and I think she thinks that that's like my hairdryer. So the noise does always put her about a little bit. So I'm just thinking about, in terms of a sentiment, what's going to work quite well on here. And I'm wondering whether something, again, a metallic would look really quite nice. Maybe it doesn't need the vellum in the background. We could just go straight onto it. with or actually let's have a think about maybe for this particular one, what about if we used one of our bold sentiments? And again, this doesn't then have to be about Mother's Day. This could be for an awesome friend. And I think I'm going to go with that. Friend, you are awesome. Yeah, I think we're going to go with that. So, but I think I might go with gold, with a gold heat emboss for my actual sentiment onto a white background or onto a black background. Decisions. I think I'm going to go with a white background. I'm going to use this bit of cardstock that we haven't actually used because you can't really see what's on there. So I think I'm going to use this to stamp the word friend in some heat, with some heat, some embossing ink. And then I might do it in black as well and do a contrast, a compare and contrast. So let's put that on there and get my embossing powder out. I'm pretty certain that I have got some black as well somewhere. So let's try both. Let's get my black cardstock lined up so that we can do the both of them. Here we go. So I've got a nice piece of black there. That's probably too big actually. Let's see if I've got a smaller piece. Oh, that one would be ideal, I feel. Okay. So we've popped some of our anti-static down. So let's move this over so you can see what I'm doing. Move some of my mess out of the way. So Laura says that she's made her Mother's Day card with the Spring Blooms dies. Excellent. I love those dies. Let me just... Again, I'm not so much about the flowers. I think you guys know that I'm not really a florally type person. I just need a bit of scratch paper here. I'm sure I've got some somewhere. Got all kinds of bits of paper that haven't been used. I'm just going to tear off the top of this bit because it does have somebody's order on there. Right, let's have a look, see if that's stamped. I'm going to do that one more time just for the hell of it, just in case I didn't stamp that very well. And pop this to one side because we're going to use that again. But I'm first of all going to use some gold embossing powder on here. This does have a bit of red in it actually from when I used it last time. Oops. Let's just give that a little bit of a sweep. You can see I've got a little tiny speck just there that I don't want. And then pop this back in here now. Rosie, you're not going to like this. But we like it. We love a bit of heat embossing. Here at time for tea. If you can hear a noise in the background at any point, that could be ants hoovering. So So like I say, we are having a bit of a day of doing jobs. Sorry, baby. Emma says she had a disaster in the crafty shack. She left the Velux window open and it rained. Soggy I can't speak. Soggy projects. I was very upset as it was my own fault. Oh no, that's so disappointing. Oh, I bet you were so upset. I would have been exactly the same. These things do happen though. I guess the way to perhaps look at it, and I know this is very difficult because you'll have spent an awful lot of time doing those, but you do get to have the pleasure of doing them, of playing with it and doing it again. That's if, you know, it was a pleasure to make them in the first place. But oh no, all of that hard work gone. Oh, I feel your pain. That's terrible. So I'm going to do this in gold now, and you know, I'm not worried that we've got this twice. I'm just going to brush some of this off because there is a bit of an excess, because we can use it in another project. Absolutely. Rosie's like, I'm trying to get some sleep here and you're just making all of this noise. You've done nothing but chatter onto yourself, and now you're making, you know, hairdryer noises. That's over there. And a bit more gold. Or should we go with white? No. Gold, white. Oh, so many decisions. I'm going to go with white. No, I'm going to go with white. Oh dear. So that was very indecisive, even for me. But then once I've chucked the powder on there, there's no going back. Now we're going to get a very different feel, you see, with the white on black. And then the decision's going to be, do we do the sub-sentiment as white on black or black on white? I feel like I'm going to need that again in a moment. So even though the anti-static heat bag does produce a lot of excess powder, I'm just going to put that on there before that dries out on me again and stick it upside down. It does make a much better job. You can see that there's a lot less sorry, Rosie. There's a lot less stray particles. There's one or two, but I'm not worried about those. Lovely. That looks awesome. And if your card has gone a little bit dull where the anti-static was, don't worry about that because you can buff that out afterwards. So I'm just going to clean up my stamp here while I'm thinking about it, and all that powder that's on there. And then shall we stamp the sub-sentiment as well while we're here? So the sub-sentiment, what have I done with my actual stamps? Here they are. The sub-sentiment was going to be, friend, you are awesome. So let's pop this back in here. And my paper's warped a little bit because of the heat that's being applied to it, but that's okay. So the You Are Awesome, I'm just going to stamp in black, I think, onto white here. And I might actually be tempted to just stamp the You Are first, because there's going to be a little bit of a gap. So let's just stamp that bit first in some VersaFine. And hopefully this will stamp okay, because my paper is a little bit warped. So this isn't Type T cardstock, and it does seem to have warped a little bit. But I'm just going to pop that down there. I'm not going to squish it too much. I do have a tendency to be a bit heavy-handed and squish my sentiments a bit too hard sometimes. So now you see we can line this up so it's a little bit closer to the first part of our sentiment, and it will just look a little bit more like it's meant to be there, rather than being the gap. And that's because there is a little bit of a lip around where your stamp is made. That means that they can't butt up exactly together, but that works perfectly like so. So for each of the sentiments there is a coordinating die, but obviously this isn't going to cut that out because we've put them both together rather than keeping them separate. So that's the other thing you just need to be aware of, is that you are going to create that bit of a, oh, what a shame there isn't quite enough black on the end of there. So we're going to need another strip. Maybe this strip here is going to be enough. I think that's going to work. Let's try this. And I'm going to do the same in black with a white sentiment, and then we can see which one we like best, which combination we like best. So really, this is that if you know which combination you're going to work with, this is going to be really quite a quick and easy thing for you to be able to do. Did I mark that off? So let's put awesome You Are. Let's just see where we want that to go. I think we'll start with the You Are, and then we'll build up to the awesome. So I'm going to do this in my embossing ink, and that's obviously going to stay wetter a little bit longer. So we should hopefully have time here to add the word awesome. There we go. And get that inked up. Grab our bit of scratch paper, our embossing powder, chuck that onto there. Excuse me, and then I'm going to grab a finer little brush just to get rid of any excess bits of white. Give that another little tap. Just be really careful when you're doing this that you don't end up wiping it straight through your sentiment. And you can also knock it a little bit like I just did and create even more particles for yourself. So that's looking good. Let's put this back on in here. So my stamping platform's looking very, very inky. No, powdery, sorry, at the moment. Oops. But that's okay. It will wipe clean. and it's just embossing powder, so it's not too bad. I can't remember if I cleaned this one off or not. Okay, let's pop that out of the way, because hopefully we've done with a bit of stamping for the moment, although like I say, I may stamp something extra on the other piece. Sorry, I'm just holding that off camera so not to scare Rosie too much. I realised you can't see. And that looks so cool. I love it. So now we've got all of our sentiments. What die we have got that we can use is the one for the word friend, which I believe is this one. Right here. So we can line this up around our sentiment like so. I'm just going to double check that is in the right place, and then I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut this out with my little die cutting machine, I think. So let's grab my little one. That's come up on my screen, go away. Emma says that her snap machine got wet as well, but thankfully that still works. Hubby's going to put a big shut the window sign up so I don't do it again. Oh, how awful that that's happened to you. I do feel terrible for you. All of that hard work. And I'm just thinking about all of the things that I have out on my desk at any one time. And if that was to happen to me, oh, I would literally be crying. So we've now got the word friend cut out there, which I think looks awesome. And I'm going to do the same here. So let me just cut this down so that it'll go through my machine. And we've got 2 You Are Awesome strips. And then we've got the friend. So again, just make sure that that is fully lined up with where you want it. Because it is a lovely fine die cut. And then I think we'll use a banner die to cut out our other sentiments. Right, okay. So the final thing to do, I think, for our panel piece is to cut that from some using our layering dies again. So we're going to do 2 of these, aren't we? So let's pop that there. These are pop my dies away, doing a bit of housekeeping as we go, keeping everything straight and together. So the next thing is to cut this down, I think, and then we can decide which we want. And we went for the 3rd largest, didn't we, last time? What if we do go for the 4th largest for this one and leave a nice big border around the outside? That could look quite cool. Let's go for it. Feeling bold today. Just making decisions left, right and centre. Not really. But I do think this is going to look pretty cool. So let's just pop this through our Gemini. And then we can start having a little bit of an assemble. Avengers assemble. Number 2. looking rather lovely. So let's just... Oh, are we off, Rosie? Has that been too much noise for you? Or are we just turning round? Get another comfy position. Oh, we're just turning around for another comfy position. She's a little monkey. Okay, so card number 1 and card number 2 here. Card number 1, we're going to add... Got it from my mama. Oh yeah, I think that looks so lovely. And then on this one, I do like the wider gap around the outside, you know. I'm tempted to cut this one down so that it's the same, but we'll see. So we've got the friend here, and then we've got the You Are Awesome or the You Are Awesome, which I think those two obviously go really very well together. Or we've got the friend, You Are Awesome. I think I like the gold. I'm going to say the gold. And we could also do this one this way around, because I'm thinking actually when I do this, oh, which way do I want it? I quite like it that way. That the friend is quite large. So I think we'll do that one this way around with the friend, You Are Awesome, and then this one this way around. I think that's cool. I like that. Okay, then we've got two very different styles of cards here then. You know, or different orientations from the same piece. I am really tempted to cut this one down again with that 4th piece. I just love that wider gap. I just think it's only very, very small. You know, you're not losing a lot of design, but it just makes, I don't know, visually I just think it looks more appealing with a wider gap. So I'm going to go for it. Again, bold decisions. Let's just do it. So again. And I don't think I'm going to put critters on these because they look so clean and simple, but you could, if you wanted to, you could most definitely. But I think, look at that beautiful little frame we've created. How pretty is that? Ooh. Oh, I've created a little extra frame that I didn't even think about, but that looks quite cool. What do we think to that? It's a bit of a happy accident. Got it from my mama. Friend, I quite like that. I think I like that, you know. So this is a little bit of a border die from a very old set. I don't even know if we sell this anymore, so I'm really sorry, but you could just trim this and then just add a little fishtail to the end of it if you so wished. Just moving these out of the way. I do quite like this little frame that I've made, because it goes, but it doesn't match, but it goes. I mean, I could turn it around so that it did actually match. I might try that. I quite like it opposites though. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this blue matches this blue here, but I've put them in opposite corners, and I think that looks quite nice. Oh, I think that's off screen, so you can't really see what I'm talking about, but I'll show you in a second. This type of card is not usually my forte, so I'm quite impressed with myself that I have that I'm doing something of this ilk. So you can see that I've got too much of a gap at this end where this this fishtail bit is. So in order to get this matched up and exactly the same, I'm just going to pop that back in like so. So that it has the same amount of little fishtail at both ends. And this might seem like a little bit of work for a little banner die, but I am so terrible at cutting straight lines myself that I would rather do it like that and know that it's come out perfect. So yeah, that is absolutely my preference, to do it that way. So let's start putting some of these together. So this one's going to be really, really easy, I think, to pop together. I'm going to pop up the background here with some of my lovely wide tape. I love this stuff. So let's just roughly work out how much I need on the back of there. One on here, like so, down the middle. So this is going to give us a real lovely bit of dimension onto our card, because popping up the sentiment itself is probably going to not happen, because again it's vellum, so it's quite tough to hide your adhesive behind vellum. There are ways to do it, but it's not easy. So love that. I would love to put some little dots to raise it up, but I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab, I've positioned that right behind my camera. There we go. I'm going to grab my tape runner. I'm just going to add a little line of tape right through the centre of each of my words, and you won't be able to see that, which is the great thing about tape runner. I'm going to add that to the bottom, well, kind of 2/3 of the way down and to the left, and then I'm going to add some gems to this. So what do I want to add? Bear with me while I just squeeze behind the camera here where I keep my little gems. So I've got some clear drops. I've also got these well and truly just, let me get the whole box out. That would be easier, wouldn't it, instead of me struggling. Some gold sequins. That's the word I was looking for. Now they're not, I don't think they're the same gold, which is why I might not use them, because I feel like the golds need to be the same. What do you think? Or we can go with the bubbles. The bubbles. Yeah, I think I like the bubbles. It's always about the bubbles for me. And these come in different sizes, but I've pulled out all the ones that are the same size there, typically. So I just think that the bubbles are a little bit more subtle, aren't they? So, and I'm just going to add them in a little bit of a random configuration. Well, the thing is, it's forced randomness, isn't it? It's not actually random, because we've positioned them where we want them. So I've got a threesome there. So this is about odd numbers, usually, is what works. And there's different ways of doing it in terms of sectioning off your odd numbers. So I have got an odd number because I've got 9, but I've also got 3 lots of 3, if that makes sense. Laura says I have issues mixing golds. Yeah, I just don't think it works, does it? No, I'm not a fan. So I'm feeling that kind of configuration is working quite well for me at the moment. I don't know why, but somehow that suits my eyes. So I'm going to go with this. I'm just going to collect up my other pieces and hopefully don't lose any. And then let's stick these down, these little bad boys. And then that's card number 1 complete. Let me just do a little test. See if my glossy accents are playing ball, and they're not. So let's a little bit of declogging. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of gentle encouragement. And let's pop these down before I change my mind. There. Sometimes they stick more to my quick sticks tool than they do to my surface, which is very annoying. So, have you guys seen the news? Oh, what's going on there? did I stick that instead of what's my doing? So yeah, did you guys see the news that we are going to be at a live show at the beginning of April, which is super exciting. We're going to be at Port Sunlight, Hume Hall, I think it's pronounced. And that's really exciting because we've not done a show since last October, was it? We went to Harrogate and we loved it there. It was so much fun. We had such a good time. So busy, really hard work, but oh, we loved it. So we're excited to be back at another show. So if you check out our website, on the banner when you first log in, there is a link to go and buy your tickets. So that is card number 1. Look at the shine on that cardstock. Love that. So card number 1 done. Card number 2, we have now got a little bit of an amendment to an original idea. So do we have it with the border or without? I think the border looks cool. Now you could, oh actually it doesn't match up whichever way we do it. So that's good. I'm okay with that. Which way up do we like it though? I think that way is going to be what I'm going for. And I'm going to do this the opposite way around. So I'm going to stick this down to my background with some liquid glue, and then I'll pop up the main panel. So yeah, just because this is going to be a bit tricky to pop up actually. But you will still see the frame and it will still look really cool. So adding that all the way along there, and I think I'll probably turn this back the other way around now, but never mind. And now we need to make sure that I'm lining this up properly. And again, thankfully liquid glue is pretty forgiving. We don't want to be creating a bit of a bend in that there. I think that's pretty good. And then this is going to sit in the middle of that on some foam tape. And I got my big foam tape again, my big foam roll. Sadly, Emma's got to go back to work, and she'll catch the end later. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon, lovely. Enjoy the rest of your day at work, if you can. Laura says, gorgeous, that mirror finish is stunning. I wish I could tell you where I got that cardstock from. I actually don't remember. So I apologise. It's probably something that's been in my stash for forever. And eventually, you know, you keep these things because you know eventually you're going to use them. You're going to use them. So yes, so I hope you can join us for that show, and also we've still got tickets available for our online class, which is the day before Mother's Day. So a little bit of crafty time. So if you are a mom and you may be looking for a little present for Mother's Day, maybe a class at Time for Tea would be a good thing. So there we've got, friend, you are awesome. I think that's going to look really cool. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up the friend but keep that one flat. So to pop up the friend, I'm going to use some of my thinner tape. This is our shaker tape, and this is really good for just cutting up into little strips that will fit on your sentiment. So I'm just going to cut up some little pieces of this and pop this together so that it pops up. And I think we'll do a long strip across the centre here. A longish strip, and then one on the end should be enough to support it. Oh, I've cut that one a little bit too long. There's always one I don't quite do right. Never mind. Any bits that I don't use, I always just stick back onto the roll, and they will stay there until next time I need them. So that's going to go back up there out of my way. And let's get this one positioned first, and then I'll tuck the other one behind it. And again, I'm going to use that same kind of positioning. Bottom half to the left, and then the You Are Awesome is just going to slide underneath. Yeah, this is a really cool little card for a friend, I think. Really quite quick and simple as well. How sweet. I love that. Right, let me get rid of these. And then again, I'm going to need some embellishments. But again, I think my gold is a bit too much of a bright gold, and I can't mix my golds. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Now then, what I have got down here, let me have a quick scan. Some of my other bits that we've got. Bear with me, I can't quite see what I've got down here. Oh, they're too small. They're shape bits. Bear with me while I just go under my desk here. I've got some pretty loosey little things, you see. What are these? They're little pearls. Oh, they could work actually. Little pearls could work. And they could work. And as could these. What are these? These are cutie pies that I think we've still got a few of these in the shop. They were a limited edition selection. So we've got these little pearls. There's some little hearts in there, but we've got the similar sort of colours that are in our background. Oh, that could be quite pretty, couldn't it? It's a bit different. Oops. So we've got the blue, we've got the green. I feel like I do really like that green. Maybe the paler blue works better. We've got the little hearts here, or we've got some different coloured sequins. So in here we have, oops, we've got some of the pretty like yellow sequins, some green. I'm just going to tip some of these into here so we can have a little forage around. So let's look at some of these sequins. A bit of a green sequin, a little green sequin. Oh, white there, that works quite well, doesn't it? And the blue, maybe the blue. Blue, a little green, a little yellow. It's looking quite pretty, isn't it? What do we think? Beautiful card. Thank you, Danny. Maybe a little bit of a green up there, or maybe another blue is needed. I think maybe a blue one up there, a yellow one, and then another little yellow one. That's a cute one, isn't it? I feel like it needs to be a bit more this clear kind of a colour. I don't know if I've got another one. What's that colour? Oh no, what's that one? Yes. So that's, and just using part of that to slip under there. What do we think? Let me have a little look at this on camera. I think that they do look very, very pretty. Yes, I do like them a lot. We've got another little teeny tiny blue one. Or a green one. There's a teeny tiny green. Quite like that arrangement. I do quite like that. I think that one's working for me as well. So let's go with that. And again, this is more of I would say 2 lots of 3 we've got going on here. So I'm breaking all of the rules today, but making up my own. So, you know, that's what we do. Rules were made to be broken, that's what I say. So these are a bit easier to pop down, so they're not quite as heavy. So this one, I may just have to trim this down a little bit because I do have a little bit of adhesive behind that word, and that is stopping me from tucking it right under there, and I want to tuck it under so that you can only see part of it, and that I think just looks really cool. There we go. They're all nicely stuck down. Yay! So now I've got to figure out how I'm going to get all of these gems back in their little homes. So that's going to be interesting, isn't it? So I'll pop that back in there. Oh, great. Great success. So should we have a little closer look at this one? I don't know if I feel like I need another one down here now. Now I'm looking at it up close. What colour? Colour. Green. Blue. That's white, I think. Look, what else have we got in here? Maybe that one. Just there. Then we have got an odd number. We've got 7. Or another yellow one, which I don't know if I've got another yellow one. I've got a green. Maybe a green. I've added quite a bit of green into this now. So let's have a look at, I don't think I've got another. I've got a tiny yellow one. Maybe a tiny yellow one. What do we think to that? Or does it want to be, I don't know why bringing it closer helps, but it kind of does. That's too many. That feels like it balances out the green. I think that's what I'm missing. So I'm going to go with that. Again, you know, sometimes we've just got to make a decision and go with it, haven't we? So I'm happy with that. I'm happy now, I think. Just felt like it needed it. So now that is our finished card. Yes. I'm into it. So, card number 1. Oh dear, I don't know how I'm going to clean those up. And, well, that was card number 2 actually. That was born from card number 1. So, I am really happy with how both of those turned out. That is 2 cards in just over an hour, which is going to be some kind of a record for me, I think. Laura says, hee, I could watch you play with sequins all day. How funny is that? And hashtag sequins make everything better. Yeah, they do. They really do. It's madness, isn't it? That you can spend hours putting a card together, but the longest time is spent positioning your embellishments because you have to have it just right. But I am so pleased with how both of those have turned out. I think they're lovely looking cards, very clean and simple. Not my usual style because there are no critters on there. But I think it's nice sometimes to show how you can use your time for tea, because I think we're known obviously as being quite a cute critters company, which is what I strive to be. That's what I enjoy crafting with, and that's what I enjoy drawing. But we can also use our time for tea products for other things, perhaps more adult type of cards, a bit more serious, things that are for different occasions that might be a little bit more somber maybe. And you can mix them up, and you can mix them with your other brands as well really easily, which hopefully we've been able to show with some of the collaborations that we've done. And we've got another really fun collaboration coming up later on this week that you'll want to look out for. And I just think it just shows how diverse some of our products are, which I'm really proud of. So, and sometimes this is the kind of card that I want to make, something that is clean and simple, and like I say is a little bit different from the norm. So I hope that you've enjoyed that today, something a little bit different from us. I will be back again on Thursday evening with some more crafting live, and I will probably be doing some cute characters then, I imagine, because we have a bit more time on a Thursday evening, I think. So I hope you all have an amazing day, have a great Tuesday, and I will see you all again on Thursday. Thank you guys, see you soon, bye.